your music or check out check you out, where could they go?
Just go YouTube, Fraser Newcomb YouTube, or Facebook, and you get me on there, or FraserNewcombMusic.ca. You'll get me there, my website, or
That's
call
right. You
Jet.
can
Or
also
call.
check out Fraser on the Disability Channel. He's all over the channel. So, Fraser, we really thank you for taking the time today. Stay safe out there on the East Coast. Keep us updated on the score. And if you find that jersey, we hope we don't see you wearing it.
Well, it probably won't fit.
That's great, Fraser. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate you on the show. We'll see you soon.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
All right. That was Fraser Newcomb on the show. Before we move on, he shared I don't know if I shared this story about how when you watch old movies of veterans in especially World War II, when they all come home and they're kissing the girls and they're throwing their hats in the air and everybody's smiling and, everybody's happy. Oh, we just came back from war. Oh, what's going on? Everybody's got a smile. Because Fraser said, because before the war started, you were in depression. It was the depression era. And people didn't know if they're gonna have a bed to sleep in. They didn't know if they're gonna get their next meal. They didn't know if they're gonna get a hot bath or shower. Like you don't know what's going to go on. So if you go into the military, you got 3 meals a day and a bed to sleep in. So he says all the guys and girls were going, hey, yeah, I'll do that. I'm gonna get to eat. Before I didn't even know I was gonna have my next meal. So that's why he said the people that come home, it was like nothing. It was like, well, we just went through a depression, like where we seen our brothers and aunts and cousins die in front of us because they starved or whatever, right? Yeah. So he goes, World War II was a piece of cake compared to, I shouldn't say a piece of cake.
No, but
you know what I mean?
I've never thought of it that way, but it makes a lot of sense, right? Because at least you had stuff provided for you, even if you were in a war zone. Jeez.
Yeah, whereas now they go to war and everybody's used to, especially our Western lifestyle, we're used to everything we want and we don't get it. And people freak out. And then and never mind sacrificing, like never mind making a sacrifice, right? Like remember, I loved when we had Krista on the other day, right? How she just told us how military life was, right? Mm-hmm. Sort of thing. So, so we're going to have Fraser back. He's going on tour. Like I said, in June, so we'll be updating you guys that. So what else is going on in your life, Bilal? What's big for Friday today?
So I got a real crazy aside, but let's do it, Jay, because nothing's off the table. So this is what I've been doing this week. So we talked about NBA All-Star Weekend. So I play a video game, and you tell me when I completely lose you here, but I play NBA 2K26. So they do these challenges, and basically for everybody who won a skills competition, you have to win with that player. So there's one player I couldn't afford in the game, and it's the guy who won the dunk contest. And I made fun of the guy because he's just out there dancing with every dunk he does. But what happens is everybody wants that player, and there's a virtual market where you have to bid with the in-game currency on it. I will never spend real money, Jay, because I'm not a sucker like these kids now. No offense, kids. So I earn my in-game currency, and I bid, and I hope when people are asleep, they forget to bid, and I get the player. I spent 6 days trying to get this card, and then I finally got it last night, and I've put him back up for sale to try to make back the 30,000 virtual credits I used to get Keyshawn Johnson to do 10 dunks in the game. So I've just been constantly checking my phone all week to try to get this. But
tell me,
card.
What is that strictly fantasy, or is there any substance to that?
Okay, so this is the crazy thing. Everything is merged together. So it's actually the Xbox version of a game, but now they have an app, and their app is so advanced that I can pull out my phone, bid on players for the Xbox game. I can even play it on my phone with the Xbox controller now. Like, I have a spare controller. I could play it on my phone while I'm on the toilet if my wife isn't asking for me, which she does. So I can't do that anymore. But I have done it. So it's just like it's all converged. So you kind of like in your pocket, and because there's always bids going on and you always want a deal, every couple hours I kind of open it up. I'm like, is somebody not buying this player? Can I get a deal? And then, once or twice a day, I go in, I spend half an hour. I play 4 or 5 games, and I try to do the challenges. But I can see how people get addicted to sports betting.
Is it kind of like fantasy baseball where you're trying to build your team? Is that what it is? Like you're building your team?
It is, but I guess the thing with these games is that, so there's the regular NBA season. So you buy NBA 2K26 and you have it for the whole year. Within this current season, which again is only at the halfway point, there's 5 seasons within the season. So every 40 days, they just release a bunch of crap in the game. So they're about to release a bunch of college players. So you get better and better cards. So what ends up happening is by the end of the NBA season, all your cards are like 99 out of 100 or 100 out of 100, and then there's no point to play the game. But during the season, it's like you're constantly getting better cards. You're getting different jerseys. You're getting different courts you can play on. Like
this is all virtual. This is all virtual.
It's all on my Xbox and my phone, but like it's a lot of fun. Like, and especially if like I kind of suck, so I don't do the hard challenges. I'm a dad. I can't do the hard challenges, and like I don't spend real money because I got a kid. I can't spend money on virtual stuff. I'm gonna spend money on like a virtual Raptors logo. Like somebody was out there spending 45,000 virtual coins to get the old school Raptors logo for their team. So it's like never ends, and especially if you have limits and you have a limited amount of time you can do it. It's kind of a good amount of gratification because there's always daily challenges. There's always stuff to gain. The economy is like very inflationary, so prices of things are always destroying. Like a card that's worth 100,000 today is worth 5,000 tomorrow because there's a new set of cards.
Sounds very time consuming.
Well, but that's the beauty of it. Honestly, Jay, the daily challenges are 3 games and 100 stats across everything. So if you win 2 games a day and you get 100 stats in those 2 games, I can be done playing in 30 minutes. But then I probably spend an hour checking my phone.
I used to do fantasy baseball. I own a fantasy baseball team.
Yeah.
Like I think like 25 years ago I did it, and I remember we used to meet every Monday night, but it was all on, like, with no computer. It was all on your paper, and it was just, you're a general manager. You own a team, and every Monday we would meet and you swap teams, but we played for money.
Yeah.
Like we played for money. Like the winner won, like, I think $5,000. Like it was a lot. It was gambling, but it was baseball because you had to know your sport, and I owned a team, but it was very consuming. But this sounds like it's the next level now, because now you're introducing video and all kinds of stuff.
Well, here's the other thing. There are people who stream this live. So like I have a setup where I could plug my Xbox in and I could stream this. And there's these packs, and this is where it's going to get crazy, Jay. The younger people now, because I think people my age and your age, we're not into this the same way. They spend $100 on a pack, 100 real dollars, that maybe will get them the best card of the week. And that card won't be the best card in 2 weeks or even 1 week.
You can spend real money on this game.
People will spend $100 on a 50-50 chance to get one of the best cards for like a week.
So wouldn't that sort of stilt the game, like sort of put the game, like like people are spending money are going to win, and if you're not spending money, you're out?
Yeah, so the term they use is pay to play, and sadly every video game is almost like this, right? Like even like a single player game, like let's say you buy like a adventure game and a single player, there's going to be DLC and other stuff, costumes you can always buy. So I think that's where these game companies have figured out to make a lot of extra money, because 90% of people will just buy the regular stuff, but then there's like 5 or 10% of people who they'll spend a couple $100 on virtual add-ons to a game if you give them to them, which is, I can't even imagine the amount of profit these companies are making now they never made before. I'm
so detached from that world.
It's
like
good,
video games. I just find them just so, I don't know. I find them like, I know they're great. Mm-hmm. I know they're very high tech. I know you have to be intellectual to play it. I know you have to have a brain. I know you have to. I just find them. I don't find it doesn't stimulate me to waste my time, because I'm not saying you're wasting your time, but you're wasting time. You're doing something.
Yeah, it's a time killer.
I'd rather play guitar.
Yeah.
Right. I'd rather play my guitar, which I have a couple back there, than play video games, because it just never. I was a pinball guy.
Such a different world.
Before we move ahead, I have to say I want to thank our viewers. We're getting a lot of great feedback, and we got one special comment that I would ask to pass it on to you.
Okay.
And they said, tell your co-host Bilal, if you turn the camera off, he sounds just like John Berman from CNN.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I need to tell my wife that.
And I said to this person, is that a compliment? And they said, yes, it is, because this person is a liberal, and they love CNN, and Berman's like one of the major hosts in the morning. And I watched John. Once this person said that to me, I went right to watch John, and I didn't look. I was just listening, and then I turned to you on. I went, yeah, they kind of do sound alike. You guys sound alike.
my dad loves CNN, so I got to tell him that as well. That'll
Yeah,
make
John
his year.
Berman.
Wow.
That's so crazy, Bilal.
Yeah, there's a thank you, whoever that is. And the check's in the mail for that because I didn't even solicit that, but I should have. Yeah, you know what's interesting? I think when I grew up, and you probably did this too, Jay. Like I watched a lot of basketball. I know you're more of a hockey guy, and I used to watch play-by-play so carefully that I could turn the sound off and I could just do the play-by-play. Or like even when I first met my wife, she would be she would come to see me and then she'd drive home, and we both liked wrestling. So she would be like, you know what you do? Call me and tell me, like talk to me, but also tell me what's happening in the wrestling. And then like I would put in my own like references and jokes for her. And so I've always done that kind of stuff just for fun. So I don't know if that's part of where.
Would you like to be are you more the play-by-play or color commentator?
I like so I always wanted to be the color person, right? Because that's the fun. Like the play-by-play is a lot of.
You want to
work.
be Jim Ralph, and
Yeah.
I would be Joe Bowen.
You would be Joe Bowen, and I know both Ralphie and Bowen. I know Jim Ralph's son very well. He's a comedian. He's a really if we could get.
Is he?
Yeah, I don't listen. I don't know if Ralph or him would come on, but I guarantee you his son, who's a local comedian, is insanely silly. Like imagine your dad is Jim Ralph, and he worked in broadcasting with me at Sirius XM. And you go into comedy, like this guy is the silliest hockey-loving dude you could imagine. Yeah,
I love like the combination of Joe Bowen and Jimmy Ralph because they just especially Joe. Joe really gives it to Ralphie, and he I like not so much anymore, but I've listened to Leafs, right? So I've listened to Joe Bowen for 25, I don't know, for as long as he's been a Leaf announcer. He used to be the TV guy, now he's a radio guy, but he comes back and forth the odd time. But like some of the greatest stories, I don't think he does this anymore, is they share their drinking stories. Like they share their drinking stories out at the bars.
There was one, like he has that catchphrase, right? Holy Mackinac. And I remember somebody asked him about it. He's like, I don't even know what that is. And then I was like, I've been to Mackinac Island in Michigan. I think I know what that is. And you're just dropping it as a catchphrase. You don't even know what it is. Like, what a funny dude. Like,
Holy Mackinac. Yeah, that's his line, right?
Yeah, and he's like, I don't even know. Like, what a guy.
He's such a great play-by-play. Like he's right. I would put him right up there with Danny Gallivan and Dick Irvin and Bob McFarlane, Bill McFarlane and Dave Hodge. And like he's classic. And he's a true Leafer. So I know he's a homer. So sometimes that doesn't work too well in broadcasting when you're a homer like that.
This is an aside, but we'll never get to do it otherwise. Did you ever hear the funny call by Dean Brown, the Ottawa Senators guy, when he was plugging all the social networks, where he's like, follow us on Facebook, X, Grindr, all that other stuff. And his partner is like, Grindr? Why did you say Grindr? He's like, the kids do it now. I think it's for the grind attachments for the kitchen.
Wow. I don't even know what Grindr is, but I kind of know what it is. To say that though, that's so funny. Speaking of that though, I want to give a big shout out to our intern Katie. Is now we're going to be having our social media on TikTok. I've never done TikTok, so we're going to do this show, Honest John Podcast, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We're already on Twitter. Join us at Honest John Pod. It's kind of exciting. We have some new news. We're going to want to give a big shout out to Nonprofit TV and Anthony. People are we're making some buzz. We're creating some buzz. People are tuning in. They're liking what they hear. Well, we're honest. We're common sense. We're both sides of the aisle, right? Yeah. I think that's what it is. We talk both sides. We talk left to right, wrong, and hey, we love to hear opinions. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on now with the U.S. and Iran.
Yeah, jeez.
Like if you notice, they're loading up. Trump's loading up the seas. They got their military out there. They're ready. And Trump issued today. You got 10 days to come to the table, or a week to come to the table. If you don't come to the table, you know what you're going to get. And I think they believe them.
Yeah. Well, look at recent history, right?
You better believe them.
Yeah.
Right. And it's so much diplomacy and it's so much a chess match because Iran is not in this by itself. Like you got to remember, Venezuela is there, and so is Cuba, right? And they go hand in hand because those three countries are not friends of the United States.
So
right?
here's what's interesting. The Venezuela thing for me is always a little tarnished by the oil. Like it's just my history and stuff. I have trouble with it. The Cuba thing, it's tough for me because people have struggled, and that's on both sides. It's not really on the Republicans purely, but the Iran thing is very, very interesting because people, as we've talked about, they're calling out. They're calling out for help. And the thing with yep,
mass murder in Iran,
exactly.
right? How many? They're up
So
to, like they say, who knows? But they're saying like 50,000, and
yeah.
now they're going to people's doors that they have them on, and through intelligence or whatever. And but I mean, you can't. I think there's only one way to do it. And that's get rid of the existing leadership.
Yeah, and if Trump can do, so here's the interesting thing. As much as, again, I have questions about Venezuela, if he can do what he did in Venezuela here, like if that's the blueprint, if it comes to that, and obviously you want a diplomatic solution, this could be his legacy. This could be Donald Trump saving a country from a really terrible situation, and it's not as if the situation wasn't already in the news and people weren't already asking. You know what I mean? Like, I think this situation is very, to me, it's very different. I don't know that anyone can sit there and say he shouldn't do so. Like, I would like to hear the argument for you shouldn't help these people. Because I don't think anyone on any side can really make that. Like, you can have qualms about how you do it, how you language it, but these people need help. And
I think there's some representative at the UN asking the UN to stop Donald Trump. And like, stop what?
Yeah.
Stop him from what?
Protecting
But
innocent
do you
people?
think that? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say protecting innocent people, like stop him from doing that.
Yeah, stop him from what? Stop him from keeping the evil in power? Like, is that what So do you think this? Do you think Khomeini is thinking Maduro? Or do you think the U.S. could go in there and extradite Khomeini like they did Maduro?
So here's what, and I was thinking before when we brought this in. So with Iran, you have to think about the countries around them, and are they going to get involved? Are other countries I don't know where Iran and Iraq even are at this point, right? Like where are other? And the thing with Trump, to be fair, which is different again from the other situation, is he has a lot of allies in that area: Saudi, Qatar. Not that
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, like not that those countries are going to take a military force out and help you.
Correct. Yeah.
But they've got a lot of money and influence. So if Trump is saying something to Iran, like let's say, and I'm going to give him a very ideal situation because it might come to this: we have to put in a democratic government. You got to go. And then these allies come in and say, "Yeah, we agree. He's got to go. We're back."
They have agreed. Like they do agree that they got to go.
Yep.
Who's been very quiet in all this is Israel. You haven't really heard anything about Israel, right? You haven't really heard too much about him, like about Netanyahu and what they're doing. But I know obviously they're doing intelligence behind the scenes. You know, they're just not sitting by idly.
Because obviously, there's no question. Iran is an ally against them, right? And a regime change could change that as well. But I guess it's difficult because I don't know. I don't know if the next person is going to come in and be better for them, right? Or is the next person going to rail against them in a similar way? And so it's so complicated because maybe they don't even know. Because I don't know.
I wonder what would happen if they did get rid of him and they did bring in a moderate leader who had the backing of the people and said, "No, enough is enough."
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if Iran changed their way? Like, that would have a ripple. Like, what other country in the Middle East is Syria's a little bit of a troublemaker, but they're a troublemaker because Iran's a troublemaker.
True.
Iraq, well, we kind of finished off Iraq, but there's still a little bit of trouble. But like, besides Iran, what other country is really poking the bear on a constant basis, which means Trump? Like, I don't know. And then remember, Iran is attached to Russia. Trump is funny with Russia.
Yeah.
Like, people say, he's Putin's puppet and blah blah. Like, that's just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But he is funny with Russia. He does.
It fluctuates.
Plays Russia, then he goes after them a little, and then he plays like. I don't know. I don't know between him and Putin. But to think Putin's just trying to survive. I think Putin's just trying to survive because if he doesn't win in Russia's eyes, they'll kill him. Like
Yeah,
that's
possible.
that's the formula in Russia. You're
Oof.
the leader until you're not.
I want to go back to Iran, and you're not wrong about any of that. Let's. I just what I'm trying to figure out of how this could go. So two things I think of. One is Egypt, right, and the Arab Spring, but that's different because the people were able to rise up in a sense and overtake the government. But then the other example is Afghanistan. The U.S. went into Afghanistan, and maybe it was for 9/11 originally, but it ended up being to help women, help them go to school, help them have rights, and to try to help the people, try to install security. And then when the U.S. left, along with Canada and other countries, to be fair, it kind of crumbled, right?
It fell
So
apart.
I,
Fell apart in a day.
yeah,
If you go
so
there now, women can't do anything.
yeah, so
So
it's
20 years of blood, sweat, tears,
gone.
and money
Mm-hmm.
because we said we're going to Afghanistan for